voters stare from a distance at that city's glimmering towers. Nation in half into those temporarily better off and those worse off than before. And they would call that division recovery. But this nation is more a tale of two cities.
So in 1984, Mario Cuomo, who was the governor of New York at the time, gave a fantastic speech, which is known as the Tale of Two Cities speech.
But there's another city. There's another part to the shining city. The part where some people can't pay their mortgages.
I was watching with my dad, and Cuomo was just ripping Reagan. And it's not just Reagan personally, but Reagan's presidency, Reagan's entire approach to politics in America.
We Democrats must unite. We Democrats must unite so that the entire nation can unite. Because surely the Republicans won't bring this country together. Their policies divide the nation into the lucky and the left out, into the royalty and the rabble.
And my dad had tears in his eyes, and I remember watching it with him thinking, you know what? I want to do that.
And I ask you now, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, for the good of all of us, for the love of this great nation, for the family of America, for the love of God, please make this nation remember how futures are built. Thank you and God bless.
In some ways, that was a seminal moment for me. It made me a political animal watching that speech. On a typical work day, I get up about 5:30. I kind of shuffle off to my office, which is across the hallway from my bedroom. I hit the newspapers, I hit the magazines, the websites that I check every day, and I start organizing what I'm going to write about. I read a lot of newspapers. I haven't counted recently. I start with the Washington Post, New York Times, New York Daily News, Wall Street Journal, Los Angeles Times, Washington Times, USA Today, Boston Globe. And then I go to the magazines. Salon, Slate, New Republic Online, Washington Monthly Online, American Prospect Online, Weekly Standard, even though it's conservative. There's some good information in there. Then there's the news sites, CNN, MSNBC, absolutely the AP feed I usually use Yahoo. And then I hit my blog roll. And I try and hit all of them in the morning, and then a handful of them I'll check throughout the course of the day. I think there are a lot of bloggers out there who are offering commentary that's as good, if not better, than the professional commentary that you get from a major news media outlet like CNN or MSNBC, or even for that matter, print. One of the other things I think is a problem in traditional media right now is the he said, she said phenomenon. Dick Cheney today said that 2 + 2 = 5. Democrats disagreed. There's no way for an independent person sitting at home, reading their paper, or watching the TV, to know what the truth is. All they're getting is that two sides disagreed. But that's not helpful information. I think blogging is helping cut through all the clutter. Saying, you know what? Cheney said one thing, Democrats said another. Here's who's right and why. Bill Clinton has always been a hero of mine. He was the first candidate I ever voted for. He was the greatest political mind of this generation, and I constantly am awed by that. He asked his staff to bring together a handful of bloggers. He wanted them to come to Harlem and talk to them about what we're thinking, what we're doing, what kind of issues are important to us. Flew down to Harlem, went to the office, met some great bloggers whom I hadn't met before, had some great conversations. It's a terrific experience to meet the president, but it was also a terrific experience meeting some of these bloggers whom I read every day and didn't get a chance, that I hadn't ever met before. I think it was a really important moment for the blogosphere in general. One of the more common analogies for bloggers, the 18th century pamphleteers. The pamphleteers were cutting through the clutter and offering political analysis that were inspiring people to action. And I think bloggers are doing that in a very real way. The pamphleteers weren't able to interact with their audience. And they weren't able to reach as large an audience as quickly, because they had a very old way of distributing their information. This is a new model. We're able to act like pamphleteers, but we're able to reach a very large audience very quickly and interact with our audience, which I think is really helping change politics.